Day one of the NBA draft in the books, and here's a look at the notable first-round trades in the 2025 NBA draft. It's our version of the NBA draft trade tracker. The Suns and Hornets got together for the first trade of the night. The Suns get Mark Williams. They beef up their front court. They also got Kaman Malawach. That was their pick. Grizzlies acquired the 11th pick. They took Cedric Coward, a great story there, from Division III to a first-round pick in the NBA. Trailblazers got the 16th pick in that deal. They took Yang Hansen, the 7-footer out of China who came out of the stands and got to wear a hat, got to shake Adam Silver's hand. The Pelicans making a move here. They acquired Derek Queen, so Derek Queen and Zion Williamson in New Orleans. And the Jazz making a deal to get Walter Clayton to pair alongside Ace Bailey. The Kings also acquired a pick here with a trade with the Thunder. They got Nick Clifford out of Colorado State. So a busy night on day one of the NBA draft in Brooklyn. All right, back here with my guys, Adam Finkelstein, Director of Scouting, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports Insider Gary Parrish along as well. You take a look at those trades, Gary, and especially that first one where the Suns make a deal with the Hornets. What'd you think about that deal?
Well, obviously, they need just about everything except for shooting guards in Phoenix. And so they were going to have to bulk up their front court one way or another, and this is an obvious way to do it. Mark Williams is a real player, like 23 years old, and he just averaged 15 and 10. There's a reason the Lakers wanted him until the physical came back and had some problems, but I'm not sure the Lakers wouldn't have undone that given what happened to them in the playoffs when they tried to play small against Rudy Gobert. The truth is, I think the Warriors tricked us in the middle of their dynasty into thinking traditional centers and just large humans were unnecessary in the NBA, but we've sort of scrapped that and we're getting back to it. Oklahoma City starts two bigs. You saw what happened again to the Lakers when they tried to play without one. You need big people like you used to need big people, and Mark Williams and Kaman Malawach, those are two of the biggest people in the world.
So a couple things on this Suns-Hornets deal. Number one, the Hornets were in a position where they had to re-sign Williams or move him. His health was the biggest factor on a team that has had really bad luck with injuries across the board. So this is a move to get one of those bodies out of the way. They made this deal before they knew that Liam McNeely would still be on the board at 29. He ended up being a steal, so I think this deal turned out even better for them than they thought. It's also really good for Mark Williams because he goes to a Phoenix team now where they need him to be the starting center and where presumably they will be willing to invest money to re-sign him to his first contract after that rookie deal.
All right, so a good trade there for both sides, perhaps. The Hornets using that trade to get Liam McNeely. The next trade that we're going to talk about here, the Grizzlies acquiring the 11th pick. They take Cedric Coward, and this is a guy that was unknown. He was a Division III guy. He was going to transfer to Duke, and now he's in the NBA. That was a great deal for him as the Grizzlies get a guy in Cedric Coward.
Yeah, the Grizzlies do, and remember, they are coming off the Desmond Bane deal, and so they have a hole in the middle of their lineup. They drafted Jalen Wells last year. He ended up being the steal of the 2024 draft. The hope is that Coward and Wells together can both provide immediate minutes right now and then be the long-term solution on the wing as they continue to build around Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson, and then potentially add another player via trade or free agency. GP, you know a heck of a lot more about that than I do, though, in your home city of Memphis.
Yeah, this is my hometown franchise. They had brought Cedric Coward in for a workout, and like every other franchise, fell in love with him. Anybody this young man got in front of, he impressed them. And it seems pretty clear that the front office in Memphis realized we're sitting here at 16, but he's not going to be here at 16. And one of the things they have done, in part with the Desmond Bane trade, is build up a lot of assets so that you can move picks to move up in a draft if you needed to / wanted to. They wanted to get the guy that they felt like they needed to add. They did it, and they get Cedric Coward. And I can just tell you, from my text messages back home, the fan base is pretty fired up. Nobody wanted to lose Desmond Bane. He was an important part of that franchise. But the Grizzlies, after stumbling to the finish line, recognized they needed to shake up the roster a little bit. So you go Ja, Jaren, we'll see what else. But absolutely, Cedric Coward is supposed to be a part of the future.
Yeah, and for more on Cedric Coward, you can read Matt Norlander's great feature article on CBSSports.com. That's available right now. Also in the deal here, the Trailblazers, they get that 16th pick. They use it on the 7-footer from China, Yang Hansen. Maybe he's going to be an all-star one day, maybe not. It was a little puzzling. He comes out of the stands to get drafted. And look, it was a surprise to many for him going that high.
It was, I think, the biggest surprise of the first round. And he's huge. He's 7'2". He's highly skilled on the interior, not very mobile. It's an upside swing, and it's somewhat surprising because they already have Donovan Clingan at that spot. But as I've already said, I'm not going to be on here and tell you it's not going to work when I guarantee you the Blazers have literally committed millions of dollars into scouting him, into personality assessments, into medical histories, and into any other due diligence they can possibly do. So when you invest that level of resource and you have able and competent people like they do in their front office, I'm presuming that they know enough to say, you know what, this is worth the risk.
And it doesn't mean they'll be right. They might be wrong.
Correct.
Yep.
You know,
Correct.
people are wrong in this stuff all the time. But to Fink's point, what would have been the reaction in the Nikola Jokic draft if he had been picked 16th?
They probably would have wished they weren't on a Taco Bell commercial.
They would have, like, people with jobs like ours would have said, what are they doing?
Right.
How could they do that? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then those clips would haunt you forever. So I'm not getting caught up in that. Let me be clear. I was shocked by this.
Yep.
This is not what I would have done. But I've been doing this long enough to know if you start screaming and ranting about how something is never going to be work out, there's no chance of it, well, those are the ones that get you on Old Takes Exposed.
All right. Well, we'll find out if we are the victim of Old Takes Exposed. But hey, you know what? At least it was fun to see him come out of the stands. He gets a hat. He gets to shake Adam Silver's hand. That was pretty cool. All right. Pelicans and Hawks make a deal here. They swap picks. The Pelicans get the 13th pick, Derek Queen. The Hawks get Asa Newell. He gets to stay in Atlanta. This is a nice trade for both sides.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we have this desire as fans to say who won the trade, but the best trades are ones that work for both teams. There was a lot of intel coming into the draft tonight that the Pelicans coveted Derek Queen. They thought about taking him as high as 7. They ultimately decided not to do that, but they were able to move up and get their guy. Now, there are questions about how he, Fears, and Zion Williamson fit together. Those will be questions they'll need to solve another day. Conversely, the Hawks get Asa Newell, who they wanted, and simultaneously they add a first-round pick in next year's draft. Next year's draft is going to be a deep one. So I think, again, both teams came out of this and got exactly what they wanted.
What New Orleans did here is the thing that I think if I were actually running an NBA franchise, I would struggle the most with. The thing being this. The best player available on the board when you're picking is probably Derek Queen. Your franchise player, at least in this moment, is Zion Williamson. And I'm not sure if Derek Queen and Zion Williamson complement each other, work well together. So what do you do? Do you take an inferior prospect because he doesn't fit with your franchise guy? Or do you just take best prospect available and figure it out? Those are hard conversations, hard decisions. But at this point, I understand at least the thought behind maybe Derek Queen doesn't fit perfectly with the roster we have in place, but he's the best prospect. We're taking him, and then like Fink said, we'll figure out the fit another day.
And just one quick point on Zion Williamson. Joe Dumar's taken over that front office, and he has said he's going to build around Zion Williamson. What else is he going to say?
Right.
That's the only thing he can say.
Sure.
Because if he's going to shop Zion Williamson, the worst thing he can do to his value is say Zion Williamson is on the board. So I don't think we can responsibly take that statement as fact.
No, because the truth is, you have a job like that, you say we're building around Zion Williamson up until the day you move Zion Williamson. You say it up until the day you move him, even if you're already thinking about maybe doing that.
I love all these trades. The only thing I don't love, swap the hats.
Yes.
Okay? I'm going to continue my campaign.
I got kids. I want to know where the leftover hats go.
Swap the hats. They go to the team managers.
Well, like in all
That's
That's fair. I like that.
In all
That's
seriousness, like I guess on the list of problems, this is pretty low in the world.
Yeah.
But you do have a lot of young men who are quite literally accomplishing dreams tonight. and taking pictures that will last forever.
Correct.
And they are often wearing.
Look, we argue about uniforms.
There you
This
go.
is what we do.
Just the idea that they're wearing a hat that will not actually properly reflect the beginning of their NBA career, it just seems like an easy fix. And I don't understand why somebody as smart as Adam Silver or the other people who work in that office haven't been able to figure it out.
There should just be multiple hats. Go to, like, here's it.
Let's take this.
Come on, yeah. Don't wear the Rockets hat. You're not going there. KD's going there. You're not. It's not July 6th yet, but take a different hat.
Well, tip of the hat to both of you, Adam Finkelstein, Gary Parrish. Hours-long coverage of the NBA draft on CBS Sports HQ. You want to watch any of it back, go to our YouTube channel, check out cbssports.com as we replay, and we will tell you all the inside info that you need to know. You can go on cbssports.com right now and scour all of the trades, all of the information, grades, and analysis from the NBA draft.